You walk into the store for a single $10 lamp
You walk out 3 hours later.
with 6 throw pillows, a bag of frozen meatballs, and a completely new living room set.
This is not a mistake. It is not a lack of willpower. You have just been played by one of the most sophisticated psychological weapons in retail history.
Welcome to the maze. Most people think of IKEA as a furniture store. It is not. It is a psychological machine designed to break down your defenses. Have you ever noticed how quickly you lose your sense of direction inside? Have you noticed there are no windows? Have you noticed that the clocks seem to vanish? This is the architecture of control.
Today on Strategy Decoded, we are going to expose the invisible blueprint that controls your wallet. We are going to uncover the dark history of the Gruen Effect.
Let's start with the layout. In a normal grocery store, you have aisles. You have freedom. If you need milk, you go to the dairy section. If you need bread, you go to the bakery. You enter, you grab, you leave. That is efficiency.
IKEA hates efficiency.
When you enter IKEA, you are forced onto the fixed path. It is a winding, single-direction road. It curves. It turns. It forces you to walk past thousands of items you did not plan to buy. They call this the long way round.
By removing straight aisles, they remove your autonomy. You are no longer a shopper. You are a passenger on a ride you cannot get off.
Why do they do this? To create a state of scripted disorientation. When you cannot see the exit and you cannot see the outside world, your brain enters a mild state of anxiety. You lose track of time. You lose track of reality. In this suspended state, your logical decision-making shuts down. Your emotional brain takes over. But this strategy was not invented by IKEA. It was invented by a man who eventually hated what he had created. This brings us to the tragic story of Victor Gruen. Gruen wanted to recreate the feeling of a European city center, a place where people could walk, where they could socialize, where they could see art and sip coffee. He designed a structure to contain all of this. In 1956, he built the Southdale Center. It was the world's first indoor shopping mall.
But Gruen's dream was twisted. He wanted to build a cultural hub. Instead, retailers realized his design was a perfect trap. By enclosing the space, controlling the lighting, and confusing the layout, they could make people forget about their lives outside.
This phenomenon was named after him, the Gruen Effect. The Gruen Effect is defined as the moment a customer becomes so overwhelmed by sensory inputs, lights, colors, layout, that they forget their original mission. Their eyes glaze over, their walking slows down, they become impulsive. But while Gruen hated it, IKEA perfected it. Let's look deeper into the maze. Every 40 to 50 feet, the path curves. This is intentional. It prevents you from seeing too far ahead. It keeps your focus short, just on the next display, just on the next price tag.
And then there are the Bulla Bulla bins.
Why are they jumbled together? Because a messy bin signals volume and cheapness to your brain. If it is thrown in a bin, your brain assumes it is a bargain. It triggers a fear of missing out. You put it in the big yellow bag. Once you put one small thing in the bag, the seal is broken. You have transitioned from browser to buyer. Why does a furniture store sell food? The meatballs are a price anchor. When you see a breakfast for $1, your brain forms a baseline. You think, wow, IKEA is incredibly cheap. You then transfer that perception to the furniture. If the hot dog is a steal, surely this $2,000 sofa is also a steal. Second, it solves the hangry problem. Shopping is exhausting. The Gruen Effect drains your energy. They place a restaurant right in the middle to refuel you with sugar, fat, and protein. Now you have to build it. This is the final lock on your loyalty. It is called the IKEA Effect. Researchers have proven that we place a higher value on things we create ourselves. By forcing you to invest your labor, IKEA makes you fall in love with the product. You are not just buying a table. You are building your table. So let's look at the full picture. No windows, winding path, sensory overload, Bulla Bulla bins, cheap meatballs, and forced labor.
This is not just a store. It is a masterpiece of behavioral economics.
The next time you walk into that blue and yellow store, realize that you are walking through a map of your own mind. You are meant to wander, because people who wander find things to feel complete.
We decode the psychology. We decode the business. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications and tell us in the comments, what is the one thing you always end up buying at IKEA that you absolutely did not need?
This is Strategy Decoded. See you in the next video.